Good evening, and thank you for joining us again. This is Danger Aware. I am Ray Howell, the Chief Information Officer and currently the primary animator. So what I'd like to do today is show you how I create a character from the very beginning. And the character we're going to be working on is our super aware kid, and our prior artist simply couldn't understand that we wanted a every kid, not a superhero. So anybody can be super aware, and that's what we want to let everybody know, is how to have a super aware existence. So we've created this super aware kid while we had this character created by a professional artist, and we're going to make this into a puppet for Danger Aware for animating in Moho 13.5. So you can see here we've got 4 different poses of the character that we're going to work into our system, and we're going to start here with layer 1. What we need to do is make the character in piecemeal so that we can animate each part as we need it. So I want to do, fairly complex hands, and I want to do the body, of course, and the face looks kind of faded out, and that's what we were after. We wanted to have a character that it couldn't be determined for sure what their age, sex, status was, because sometimes this super aware kid may be a girl, sometimes it may be a boy, and so we wanted to be able to have it be indistinct, basically. So our first layer, I'm thinking, should probably be the pants, because as you can see, the shoe is over top of the pants just a bit, on at least one leg anyway. So we may need to fix that or deal with that. So we're going to do the pants, or the legs, then we'll do the shirt, maybe then we'll do the arms. Yeah, we'll do the pants, then we'll do the arms, then we'll do the neck, then we'll do the shirt, then we'll do the head, then we'll do the hair, and then we'll do the shoes, or something in that order. So let's start with the pants. And on the pants, what I've learned to do is to separate the shorts part of the pants, or the pelvic area of the pants, with the legs. So let's do that. We'll call it the pelvis. And we're going to zoom in, and we're going to create a new style, and let's call it pants. And we're just going to pick up the base color here. I'm not probably going to be able to do the artist work as well as the artist did, but I'm going to try. So we'll end up having to apply these highlights and such, but yeah, let's go ahead and create the basic pants. So we're going to use a square layout, and basically just go, okay, we're going to do this part of the body. Okay, and if we turn off the super aware kid, you can see that our pants color is basically there. It could probably be a darker. Let's go with the darker color, and then we can add the shading. There we go. That's better. Let's go a little bit lighter. Let's see here. Okay, so that's our basic pants shape. But in order to make things work very well, it's best if we make perfect circles at joints. So where the stomach overlays the pants, we should probably have a half circle. Where each leg overlaps the pelvis, we need to have a perfect circle. So I'm going to add points, and let's just add 3 points here for the pelvis, and we're going to make this third one a sharp corner so that it comes up like this, and that begins the bend of our corners for our half circle. So what we can do is we're going to create a circle. Let's go with a new style. So we'll just call this temp, and we will delete this later. And for the fill for the temp, we're going to go with a gray, but we're going to go transparent gray so we can see through it. And the same with the stroke. Let's go with a black, maximum black, but it's going to be transparent. And so now we can create a circle, a perfect circle, and we want it to be this distance here. So we're going to come up here and drag down until we've got our perfect circle. So that's what we want to match for the shape of our leg there at the bottom of the pants. So you can see there's the circle and the colors and everything. So we're going to come over here, hit T, pick up this point and just overlap it to our half circle at exactly that point. The same with this side. We're going to bring that to that half circle. Then we're going to hit C so that we can see the Bezier lines for the curves, and we're going to recreate that half circle. Now if you can't do it, whoops, I didn't want to move that one. I want to move this one. Yeah, that one is the circle. And I want the leg. So it's the one behind. So T, grab that button behind, hit C. Now bring off the curve lines. And I can't see it because I didn't grab just the one spot. So T again to grab that single spot. Now hit C, I can see that curve. So there we go. We can try to produce that perfect circle. Obviously that's stretching it too much. Let's go ahead and add another point. So we go A to add, and we just bring this down, overlap it there, hit C, and open it up to match the other. So there we go. Now we can make our circle be as close. So we get the circle to be exactly the same as that perfect circle, and that lets us overlap that body part and rotate it perfectly. So now we're going to grab that circle and just shift to hold it in place and move it over to the other leg, and then we're going to match the parts on the other leg to those points. So we hit T and we're going to grab this and bring it to overlap here, and then this point here we're going to overlap it onto the circle, and then we're going to add the final point. And let's not have a sharp corner so that it makes the curve for us, at least to begin with. And now we can hit C and adjust the others here. And there we go. here is the other side. And now we've got that perfect circle. And so let's bring a few more points into play here for the pants at the just right at the hip area, and then we can bring the waist in a little bit. I was a little bit heavy on that waist, I think, so we'll bring that in. And so now if we turn off the kid, we can see we've got the basic pants layout. So the next part is to the section to each knee. So we're going to do each leg separately because they need to be manipulated separately. And so I'm thinking that we've got the pelvis too low. So I'd like to just click all of this and hit T and use Shift and just bring it all up so that the legs will pivot where they should. So there we go. There's our base pants. So now we're going to go with a new vector. And that new vector is going to be the thigh. And for now, we'll just name it thigh, and we're going to only do one, then we'll duplicate it for each, the second leg. So we grab the square again, and we're going to use pants for our color, and we're going to do the right leg here, or the character's left leg, our right. So right now we're not going to worry about any of the details of the pants. We're going to worry about making the pants functional first, then we'll worry about the look. So here we are. We've got to make that top circle just like we did on the pelvis. So what we're going to do is go T to grab that circle and Control X to completely remove it. Move into the thigh and Control V for Victor, Control V to Victor for paste, and now we've pasted it, and we've pasted it in the exact same place it was on the other part. So now we can work on the legs here and make it completely proper for where it needs to be. So we're going to grab this point, bring it over the circle, bring this point and bring it over the circle. And now we're going to add a point in the center and drag it up and over the circle. So now we want to hit C, and we want to make these angles here for the leg, not for the circle that we're working on, but for the leg itself. So we hit T, grab this, and we'll leave it a little bit low for the moment. Hit C, and that one's not it. So it must be that one. There we go. So the Beziers were not visible, but they were producing somewhat of a curve. So we'll go straight up, and let's go just a little further than what the other shows, the actual circle. So here we go, and now we can pick up that center point and overlap our circle perfectly. Now we've got our perfect circle, or half circle. We can hit T and just move this circle. I'm going to hold Shift and just move it to the side so it's not part of what we're working on. Now we need to do the bottom of the knee because it's going to be overlapping with the shin. So we're going to bring this circle down. I guess I shouldn't have moved it. Let's move it back, and let's just move it straight down. And we want to be right centered over where the character's knee is. So let's move it to right there. And now we bring up these 2 points to match the circle. So I can use G to grab and just highlight those two, then hit T, and now holding Shift I can drag them up to where I need them. And we're just a little bit off, but the knee is smaller than the hip, so let's actually hold Alt and drag this inward a little bit, and then we're going to make the circle smaller as well. Holding Alt, we can shrink it down, and now we match that circle. So we bring this point on this knee over here, and the other side's already matching, or it's very close. Let's go ahead and match it, and then we add the center one, drag it down just shy of where it needs to be, hit C, and then we can drag these Beziers out to make the bottom half circle. So just like that, we've got our bottom to our leg. So now T lets us grab the circle, and we're going to Control X to cut it, and then we're going to create the new vector to be the shin. And if we Control V for Victor and paste, we now have that circle in the exact same place as it was for the thigh. And now we can draw our pants for the shin. So let's just start here with our circle, drag down, and go to the ankle. And we're going to go as wide as we need for the knee, and then we'll grab these bottom points like this, hit T, and holding Alt so that we're shrinking to center, we're going to bring that in to the ankle. So we will need to do some adjustment for the actual pants, but that's where our ankle is going to be. So now we take and match this circle. So we're going to go T, grab this point, bring it on over, match the circle. Same on this side, match the circle, and then add the point in the center. Hit C for curve and adjust the parts we need to make them all line up perfectly. Final step is to bring the center point into alignment with the original circle, and we hit T, and now we can move this circle straight down. Whoops, grab the wrong one. I'm going to grab the circle, there we go, and move it down. And at the ankle, we're going to shrink it using Alt so it shrinks to center. And then there's our ankle going to be rotating for the foot. So we're going to go into the leg here, and we're just going to move the points to match the circle. And then add the center one. Come short of where it needs to be. Hit T, hit C, and now grab these Beziers and make our ankle round to match the half circle. And there we go. So now we grab the center point and bring it into perfect alignment with the circle, or close. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer you are, the better. Then we grab the circle and we can just hit delete on our keyboard and remove it. And now I want to move that ankle over to where it's matching the actual drawing. So I'm going to grab all three of these bottom points and holding shift, just shift this into alignment with the ankle there. So there we've got our thigh, our pelvis, and our shin on one side. And there's what it looks like. So, no, it's not the pants yet, but we're creating the character. Now, why do we need all these circles? Well, when we go to add our bones and rotate, we're going to rotate in the center of these circles. And because we've made them perfect circles with the overlapping halves, it will make it look like a connected joint. We needed the thigh and the shin as a group. So we're going to group with selection, and then we're going to call this the left leg. So now we've got the left leg, and we can duplicate it, and that'll be the right leg. And now we can reverse that, and we've got the exact same thing for the other side. So we simply put it in the same place. So there's our basic legs and body layout. So now we're going to move to the torso. We're going to do the arms actually. So we're going to have bones come up for the stomach and the chest separate. Then one for the neck, maybe two for the neck. Then shoulder bones. Then upper arm, forearm, and then hands. So let's start with our style, and we're going to go with a new style, and this is going to be skin. And even though this skin is very textured in the artwork, we're going to go with the root colors of the base color and then a shadowy color for the edge. And then we're going to go into reduce these legs to just short parts and create a new vector, and this is going to be the shoulder. No, let's just go with the upper arm. So we'll call it the biceps. I like that better than upper arm. I prefer single word descriptions when possible. So now what we're going to do is do the biceps on the character's really doesn't matter which, left or right arm. So we're going to go into the biceps here. We're going to create a shape out of a circle. And we go, well, the shoulder should begin about there, and the elbow appears to be right about there. So now we can take these points and bring them where they need to be to create the basic arm shape. Okay, and at both ends we're going to want our half circle. And since we started with a circle, we're already basically there. Hit curve, and we can adjust this circle or half circle here to be closer and closer to what we want. And then we can follow the structure of the arm. If we need to change any points, we can do so here, just like that. So now we're directly in line with that arm. So now we need to make our forearm, and I could call that the forceps, but people would think that was weird, I think. So we'll just go forearm. And we want to see where the biceps ended, and we're going to start the forearm just above where that perfect circle would be. So let's go ahead and make our circle. So we're going to choose our temp coloring, and we're going to make a circle here, and it should be just the width of the elbow there. Now we're going to move it into place, and we can see that we are a bit off there. So we're going to add points to our elbow here, our biceps, and then hit C, and you can see that our curve has just moved way out. That's alright, we can bring it in to where we need it. Same with this one, it's way over here. Okay, but then on this end we're going to match that circle. Just like that. So as you can see, our angles don't have to match what the circle is in order to get a half circle out of the end of our part. So we can move this into place now and hit C on it, and we can fine tune exactly where those curves align on that half circle that we're looking to match. So we get that very close, and then we need to bring these points into the circle. So now we've got our perfect circle in our joint for our elbow, and it looks like it may be a bit high compared to our next angle. Well, the character drops down a bit, looks like, shoulder wise. We'll see how it works out as we go. So now we take this circle, Control X to delete it, and go into our forearm, and Control V to paste it. It's going to be in the exact same spot. So now we can draw our forearm circle, and it's going to go all the way to the wrist here and just into the wrist. So let's start by doing it just like that, and now we can draw these points out to where we need them. And we know we're going to need to add points for the curve, so let's go ahead and just do that here. Add these points here, and we know we're going to end up doing it at the other end, so we'll add some here. So there we go. Now we can adjust those curves, so hit T, hit the top curve or top point, hit C for curve, and now we can draw out each Bezier at the top here. Or if you get to the center, you can drag them both out together, just like that. So now we can adjust the arm here and here, and now let's bring this center point into alignment with the circle, and then these points to match, and then the curve to match. Now, as you saw, as I moved this Bezier up here, the lower one moved at the same time, and we need to change this inward. As you can see, the arm dips in here, so we hold Alt, and that lets us move one half of it without moving the other half, so that we can create those gentle curves that we want to create our body parts. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to bring these Beziers like this to actually match the curve the artist created for the forearm here. So just a bit of an inward curve and then back out. And now we're going to hit T and grab the circle and shift to drag it down, and looks like we need to make it a little smaller, so we're going to hold Alt and shrink it in and zoom in, and then put it in place on one point I'm using the left hand point here, and then we're just going to bring the right hand point down to match it, bring the center point down to match, hit the C for curve, try to hit the center, and we can drag them both out together. Then we can grab these points here and match our circle. Finalize by bringing our final point into alignment, then hit T, grab the circle, delete. So there we've got our parts created for the arm, and I did not draw that in the right color. I used the temp color. There's an easy way to fix that, and the proper way to fix that is to grab this tool here, which is to select a shape. We're going to select that shape, so when you see a checkerboard on it, you know it's selected. And we can come over here and we can see its style is temp. We're just going to change that to skin. And there we go. And now, because it's selected, you can see that perfect circle of the overlapping of the arm there. So if we go now to create our character and add bones, when we add the bone here, that will rotate properly. Let me just go ahead and do that now. Let's see here. We're going to combine these arm parts first in group with selection, and then we're going to call it the left arm. And then of course duplicate it so we have the right arm. And of course these four arms are now no longer 1 and 2 or 2 and 2 as it shows. Let's see, what did I do? I did it again, didn't I? I duplicated the forearm. Alright, so let's delete that. Delete the can here to delete one of them. And then put the biceps in that arm with it. And then duplicate the biceps and move that to the other arm. So we can still get there. It's just I grabbed the wrong parts. So now we take the right arm and we can reverse it. And so then we can move it over where it belongs, holding shift. And there our character is coming along. So there we go. So let's go ahead and take all these parts and we're going to combine them into a group. And that group is going to be the Super Aware Kid. So SAK, S-A-K, Super Aware Kid. And then we're going to turn that into a bone layer. So now everything under that can be applied with a bone system. So we're going to go to the bones to add bones here. And we'll just add one for the center of the pelvis, or the where the pelvis and the upper body are going to connect. And then we're just going to come and grab and draw. I'm going to turn off the kid, and we're going to draw our bones for this arm here. And we simply come down to the center of that perfect circle. And then the same, go down to the center of the perfect circle. So now we need to turn the strength on these bones off so that there's no effect when we move them on other parts. And then we're going to bind those parts on the left arm. So the forearm, we're going to bind it to this bone, and the biceps, we're going to bind it to this bone. And so now you can see if we move the forearm, it rotates where there is no weird effect at the rotational point. That's the point of having the perfect circles here. So obviously our bone is not exactly where it needs to be. If we go back to the construction layer and the bone layer, we can see that this is a little off. Our center of our circle is right about there. So we need to bring our point to there. I have an overlay on my screen that lets me see that. So now that I've got the bones aligned properly, you can see that the overlap creates just a roundness right there. And you're going, well, yeah, but you got those lines left behind too. And it looks like our bone is still a little off. Let's shrink this up just a hair. And then bring this up to it. And then test that. And there we go. Now our circles are overlapping almost perfectly. So now, we've got that line that we really don't want on our character because it makes it look like it's piecemeal. So what we can do is add a patch. Okay, so we go to the forearm and we're going to insert, let's see, go to the forearm and insert a patch. And this is going to overlap the bicep. And now, if we grab that patch, we should see it, there it is. We can bring that down over those parts. Let's see if they're in the right order. Oh, we're on the wrong arm. Okay, so this patch belongs over here. So put that back. I think I did my patch wrong. Hold on. Let's try this again. So we're going to go forearm and create a patch. And so forearm patch. Now we bring it down and it's not working. Why is it not working? Need that here. There we go. Right? Yeah, so now you can see with the patch in place and in the right place, it covers that joint, and any lines that overlap from either part will be hidden, but we keep our bone layout. Let's try it on the other arm here. So we're going to go to forearm. We're going to create a new patch. And it's going to be the forearm patch. Then we're going to bring the biceps under the patch. Then we're going to bring the patch. We're going to select the patch and bring it down to where it overlaps those bones. And there we go. So now we can move the arm, and that keeps our lines out of our overlapping arm. So this is how we can create our character and use the perfect circle to create our joint, and then when we rotate that joint at the proper bone and using a patch, we don't end up with lines, and we can do everything we need to do, and the character's arm stays in play. Now that patch is a little large, as you can see, it's cutting out there, so we can adjust it, and let's go ahead and do that. We go back to the construction layer and then choose the patch, choose the layer, and then use Alt, and we can shrink it down to just slightly bigger than our actual overlay of the parts. So the closer we get, the smaller the cutoff of the overlapping parts. So there we go. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Just using Alt lets us shrink it to the center, and right there. So now you can see that if we go to the Super Aware Kids base, We can now rotate that arm, and we get a little bit of overlapping line where we should, where your body actually does create a crease. So by reducing the size of the circle, we get a little better effect on the overlapping of the arms. Alright, we're ready to move on to the next part, which is the shirt. So let's go to above the arm. Let's close these arms down so we don't see them for the moment other than as small objects. And then we're going to create a new one, and it's going to be a vector. And this is going to be the base shirt. Now, just like we did the pelvis, we're going to do the base shirt, or let's do this as shoulders. So we're going to create a similar thing as we did with the pelvis for the shoulders, and we're going to create a new style, and it's going to be shirt color. And then let's just pick up that shirt color just like this. And then we're going to pick up the border color by picking up right at the edge. And it looks a little bit different. So now we're going to go into the shoulders, and we're going to draw again a square to begin with. So our basic body shape is right there, and let's go like that. And we're going to need a circle, so we're going to go to our temp style and draw a circle, and we want that circle to cover the shoulder, and we want it to also match the upper arm. So we want to see our upper arm, and let's hide the shoulder for the moment. So we want a perfect circle that matches this circle here. Whoops. So we need a circle. Then holding shift makes it a perfect circle. Then T lets me grab it and move it into place, and that looks to be just about right. So we can control X to delete it. Oh, we don't need to, we're in the shoulder, so we're just going to put it right back. So now we're going to grab this top shoulder point and bring that here. We're going to add another point at the bottom of that circle, and then we're going to add the center one to bring it on out, and we want to duplicate that on the other side once we've matched this one. So first we're going to hit T, grab each of these points, hit C for curve, and now we can adjust this curve here until it matches our circle. Same on the bottom. But in this case, I'm going to use Alt to drag this one on around by itself and get it started in right place. And then finally pick up the point here and drag it. And now hit C, and let's adjust this to be just in line with that circle. Okay. And looks like we're down a little here. And there we go. So now we hold shift, hit T, grab the circle, only the circle, holding shift, we're going to drag it over to the other arm. And we're going to match the shirt top or the shoulders to that circle here. So we bring this down to there. We come down here, we add A to add another point, and we want to make sure we're grabbing the line, so make sure you move it before you get it aligned. And then we're going to add the final center point over here. and hit C for curve, and then Alt to adjust our circle. And here we need to drag out, and then Alt to adjust the circle. And we bring that over there. And then T to grab the final point and line it up with the circle. Then we hit the circle edge and we can delete it because we're done. So now our arm overlaps with that half circle there, and it should be functional. So let's take a look. So if we rotate this shoulder bone where it's at, it stays in line with that rounded circle very much. We're going to need to redo all that, of course, once we're done. These bones are not our permanent bones. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and delete these bones now, so we no longer need them for testing. So I'm going to just go ahead and in the construction layer and select the bone and delete. Select the bone, delete. Select the bone and delete. So there we go. We've got our basic shirt layout. And let's see here. So now we're going to add the bottom of the shirt. So we bring the character back, and we're going to add a new vector layer, and this will be shirt. Yeah, just shirt. It's fine. And we're going to go in and draw a rectangle, and we're going to make sure we've got the shirt color selected before we do so. And since we've got the shoulders, we only need to continue the shirt as a squarish object from this point downward. Again, we're going to detail the shirt later. So let's go ahead and center it about right there. And we can hide the Super Aware Kid, and you can see how this is coming together. Now we can bring T, bring this point like this point like this, and you can see the shirt bulges out. So let's go ahead and add a couple of points here. We're going to need more than this anyway to make the shape of the shirt. And we can add a couple here at the bottom. We know it's going to be reshaped. And another one here, and another one here, and here, and here. Now, these overlap, and they will be on their own separate bones, and we don't really need to use a patch here because we can just hide this line. So if we were to render this, Control R to render, you can see that it looks like the shirt is just one part. And that's great for if we don't have to actually rotate the parts. And in this case we won't. We will be pivoting them a bit. But since I've overlapped the parts quite a bit, there shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we can make this a circle just like the other parts and add this center point here and hit curve and just make that half circle we're going to need. Then we go to the shoulders, hit add, and add the half circle here. And so now if those overlap, they will overlap without exposing anything underneath. So the shirt will stay as a continuous item. And if we put the shoulders on top of the shirt part, then we can apply our Super Aware emblem to this part, and it'll stay connected to this part. Alright, so now we can do our sleeves. So we're going to do a new vector, And this is going to be our sleeve. Is that right? And so we're going to move in with another rectangle and shirt color, and we're just going to make a sleeve here. Alright, and we want this one to be curvy, so we're going to round it off and then bring it down into alignment. Let's go ahead and look at the Super Rare Kid, and there's the actual sleeve, so let's go ahead and match it. We're going to bring this on down and bring this on down here, and let's go ahead and add a few points that we're going to need to make everything work out. And this one can go to there. Now we hit curve, and using Alt we can adjust each one individually so that we can get the unusual shape that is the shirt. So we can add points down here. So we're going to need one here and one here. And then this one we can just bring on to here and round it off a bit. And then Alt lets us move this curve just like this. And then we can align that like that and get exactly what we need. Remember, the Alt key lets us be very exacting on each side of our curves there. So there's our sleeve. Now it doesn't have the perfect circle, but it's overlapping the body in the right place, and we need to bring the shoulder shirt up to the neck. So let's go to the shoulders, and we're now going to need to match the rest of the shirt. So we're going to add points. We're going to bring this up to here, and then similarly we're going to bring this up over here. Then we're going to bring a center down to right there, add a point here, add a point here, and let's see how we can do with that. So we can bring that over like that, and there's that over there. There we go. We've got our shirt collar. So now if we rotate this shoulder, it should move on up. And what we can do on the shoulder is on the sleeve we're going to add some points. So we're going to add a point right here, and then we can hide this line here, making the shirt and sleeve all one part like that. So we get a little separation there, and let's hide that bottom circle on the shirt, or that would be on the shoulders. So we can again hide this, or we can apply a patch, but I think hiding it will be efficient enough on this. Then on the sleeve, this is the left sleeve. I think sleeve has two E's in the center. Let's see here. Yeah, two E's then VE. So let's change that here. And then we're going to duplicate that. It's going to become the right sleeve. And then we need to simply grab the layer and reverse it, and then move it in place. So there we've got the shoulders coming along for the character. Let's move to the neck. So we need to create a neck. So create a new vector. And we're going to choose skin color. And we're going to choose to create a new shape of a circular type. And we're going to zoom in here and just create this character's neck. So, as you can see, the neck does curve outward on both sides. And this looks like that belongs over there more. There we go. So with the neck, I do like the neck to end right about the center of the mouth and then about the same distance going down. But in this case, the neck needs to flare out more than the center. So we're going to flare it out here, and we're going to flare it out here. And we shouldn't need to make a full circle at either end because both parts are going to overlap quite a bit. So then that's the neck. Then we need to do the skull. Sorry, I'm looking elsewhere when I'm typing. I'm looking at how long I've been broadcasting. I don't want to make these too long. So, let's see here. We're right about an hour. So I think I'm going to leave it at this point. We're going to pick this up tomorrow. But let's go ahead and make the skull base shape here. It's just a round shape. And then hit T to get everything aligned to the right place. And now let's turn off Super Aware Kit, and here's how our character is coming along. So this is how I am building a character from a drawing, and then once we have the character completed, we'll be able to match each of these turns. Just as I've done the turns on our Bug Illager characters, we'll be able to do the same thing here with this character. So we'll be able to rotate it to a full side view maybe in both directions and keep the character active. So we'll pick it up here tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. And remember to visit dangeraware.org. We are in the business of changing the paradigm of abuse awareness through play and entertainment. That's why we're building the Bug Illager characters and the Super Aware Kid and cartoons and comic strips and all kinds of things. And in our research, it's turned out that it's about a 50-50 chance that any single person will grow up and become an abuser of some kind. And the easiest way to prevent that is if we educate against it. So we're going to definitely do that, and that's why we're building these characters. And I'm just showing you what I've learned in Moho, getting to this point, so that you can make better characters yourself. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for choosing to watch Danger Aware, and have a wonderful day.
Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. stranger, could be the one that you adore. Please be alert and be aware of all the dangers anywhere. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Stand your ground and speak out loud. Let the world know harm's all around. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that lives next door. Danger, danger, could be a stranger, could be the one that you adore. Danger, danger. Danger, danger. Danger, danger, could be a stranger.